Okay, this is a reaction video. This is to Mark Goldbridge's Who Gets Top 4, No Chance Who Gets Top 4. Well, let's see what this has to do with. Please click like, share, and subscribe for him. Click down here for like, share, and subscribe for me. I would really appreciate it. Helping my channel grow. His is growing, and help me grow. Mine grow. But let's see what he has to say about this.
Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's in our hands, says Alexander Isaac, after a great late win for Newcastle against Nottingham Forest last night.
They got a late penalty against Nottingham Forest. They are 1 point behind Tottenham for top four with a game in hand. Looking at it, I mean, I think right now, because Manchester United, I think, has a game in hand on Manchester. Yeah, they do. Manchester City and Arsenal. I think Arsenal and Manchester. I think top four. I think it's safe to say Arsenal and Manchester City aren't going to make the top four, whether 1 and 2. And as far as Manchester United, I think they're going to be the third place team. I do not see Manchester United faltering out of the top four, even though when I look at this, they are certainly in a top four race. But I think Manchester United is going to be third, and it's going to come down to, I mean, you look at there's really, right now, I would say Brighton, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Tottenham are fighting it out for top four. I'm not going to go take the leap with Brentford, even though they're just a point behind Brighton, nor am I going to take Fulham, even though they're just 2 points behind.
But who is going to win this top four race? I heard somebody last night say Liverpool have got no chance now. These wins for Newcastle, Spurs are finding results, United are too far ahead. Even Brighton look like moving past Liverpool. Have Liverpool got no chance for top four? Well, this morning, today, this evening, whenever you're watching it, we're going to look at the top four race, and we're going to look at how the next 3 Premier League games for each of these sides will shape the top four race. And actually, it could be no chance for Liverpool if we look at it. It could be no chance.
I believe Liverpool has to home game against Arsenal in the next 3 games, which would be very, very... I mean, Liverpool they have Chelsea. I think they have Arsenal. Don't know who else they have.
At all. But look, that's how it stands at the moment. You've got Man United in third place with 50 points. Spurs are in fourth with 48. Newcastle are in fifth with 47. And then you've got Liverpool and Brighton both locked on 42 points. A little bit of a distance away. But remember, Brighton have got 2 games in hand on Spurs.
That absolutely killed Liverpool to some extent when you beat Manchester United 7-0, just thrash them, and everybody goes, "We're back, we're ready, let's go." You know, and then you go to Bournemouth and lose 1-0. I mean, talk about, I mean, it completely ecstatic over a 7-0 victory over Manchester United at home, the big rivalry. And then you lose to Bournemouth the next week, 1-0. Wow, that happened.
So if Brighton won their 2 games in hand, they'd actually be level with Spurs. So you can't dismiss Brighton. They're capable of beating anybody. But for Liverpool, it's a bit of a harder task. So look, also, Spurs play today. Spurs play Southampton away today. If they win that, they go up to third and they go a point ahead of Manchester United, but they'll have played 2 games more. So it's all to play for. All to play for. I said this last week when Man United had that draw with Southampton. That sort of just gives people a chance. But fair play to Spurs. They've won a couple, and Newcastle have won 2 games late against Wolves and Forest and put themselves right in the race now. No cup tournaments for them as well. So if you're not in Europe, there is a chance.
Yeah, Manchester United has to play today against Fulham. Not today. I think they play this weekend. Tomorrow against Fulham in the FA Cup. They've been lucky in the FA Cup in that they've had to play nothing but home games, which is good for them. I mean, that's the luck of the draw. And look, I expect them to beat Fulham and make it to the semifinals. It was disappointing from a Manchester United perspective that they weren't able to beat Southampton at home. A game I expected them to win, but they weren't able to do it. They had to play without Casemiro for most of the game. 10 against 11 is not the best of ways to handle it. But, it is what it is, and it is what happened. But Manchester United, I think, should solidify third place. They're going to be they're going to have a couple of games in hand on Tottenham, even though Tottenham plays today. They beat Southampton. We'll see how it all plans out.
There is a chance there, so it's going to be very interesting. Personally, I think the next 3 games make it what it will be. We'll start with Manchester United because they play Newcastle next. Man United against Newcastle.
That's going to be huge at St James Park.
After the international break is the next game in the Premier League for those 2 clubs. If Newcastle were to win that game, they've played the same games as Manchester United, they would be level with Manchester United. So, I mean, that's the turnaround for Newcastle. They would be level with Manchester United in the same games played if they win that away game next for against Manchester United. And that would really start to open things up.
Now, Newcastle has some interesting games. They have a home game against Manchester United, but they also have a home game against Arsenal coming up as well. That should be very interesting. The 2 games against 2 of the top 4 teams that are in the top 4 right now coming up for Newcastle.
That would be a huge game straight after the international break. But personally, I'm not looking beyond Man United for top 4. I think it's a really difficult season and a very difficult situation that Erik ten Hag took over. Manchester United didn't even get 60 points last season. We've got 50 after 26 games. We've still got 12 games to go. We're only 10 points off what we couldn't achieve last year. It was our worst ever Premier League season. So I think Man United will get a draw against Newcastle. We've then got Everton and Brentford at home. So
Everton and Brentford is not going to be easy for Manchester United, even though he may brush them off. But I'm not convinced that they're going to just walk all over Brentford or Everton for that matter. They could beat Everton. I think these are. I could literally see Manchester United losing 2 of these 3 games, or winning one game, drawing one, losing one. I'm not going to sit there and say that it's going to be a draw for Manchester United against Newcastle. I don't believe that right now at this point in time.
Fancy in 3 games' time, United will have 57 points, which will still keep us in 3rd place. Spurs in.
But that is true. I think it should keep them in 3rd place. I think Manchester United will get 3rd place, like I said earlier in the video. So yeah.
4th have got Southampton Day, which I think they'll win. Then they've got Everton away, which I think they'll draw. And then they've got Brighton at home, which I think they'll draw. So I can see Spurs with 5 more points, which would put them on 50.
Yeah, Everton's going to be a difficult game for everybody against Sean Dyche, especially at home. So I'm not so sure I would just say it's going to be a draw and then another draw against who else he said. Go back.
Will draw, and then they've got Brighton at home, which I think they'll draw.
Okay, so you've got Everton, you got Southampton, Tottenham. Tottenham has Southampton, Everton with Sean Dyche, which is going to be a difficult game on the road, and then Brighton at home. That's going to be incredibly difficult for Tottenham. That's not going to be easy. I'm not sure I'm going to give 5 points to them as well. I think that's going to be. I can see that being 4 points, maybe beating Southampton, losing to Everton, and then beating and then drawing with Brighton. That's going to be a difficult run of games for Tottenham.
I can see Spurs with 5 more points, which would put them on 55. Newcastle, I think they'll draw against Manchester United. They've then got West Ham away, which I think they'll win, and then they've got Brentford away, which I think they'll draw.
I'm not so. Again, he's making the Manchester United can lose to Newcastle. Okay, I think that Manchester United is going to lose to Newcastle. I think they're going to draw with West Ham, and then possibly lose at Brentford. Okay, I could see them getting just 4 points out of this, but I don't just assume you're going to draw against Newcastle, Manchester United. Okay, don't assume that that's just going to be an automatic draw up there against Newcastle.
So I can see Newcastle getting 5 points as well, which would put them on 52. You then come to Liverpool. Now, Liverpool, if that situation plays out, Liverpool have got 42 points. We've just said Newcastle have another 5. That would put them 10 points ahead of them. We've just said that Tottenham would have another 5, so that would put them on for 53, would it? 53? No, yeah, I think I said 53. And then Man United would be on 57. So there'd be a massive gap for Liverpool. Guess what Liverpool's next 3 games are? Man City away, Chelsea away, Arsenal at home.
Okay, Man City away. If you were able to get some points off of that, that's fantastic. Good on you. But I don't see it happening. Okay. Manchester City plays Burnley today, I believe, in the FA Cup. So Arsenal could legitimately, even with the game in hand, go, if they win tomorrow, go 9 points clear if they beat Crystal Palace. No, 8 points clear, sorry. 8 points clear. So looking at this right now, that's a hell of a schedule at Manchester City, at Chelsea, and then home against Arsenal. Wow.
I can't see a situation where Liverpool take anything more than a maximum of 4 points.
You could. It's not inconceivable for Liverpool to draw with Manchester City, but they'll probably lose that game. I could see them. I could see them beating Chelsea on the road, but I could more or less see a draw. I can see a loss, a draw, and a possible win against Arsenal. Definitely see a possible win against Arsenal at home. But I think 4 points is being generous, to be honest with you. I think at the best they can possibly do is 3, which is 3 draws. But they could. Oh, that's a. Oh.
They might be able to beat an Arsenal, Liverpool, or a Chelsea. They might be able to get a draw against the Man City, a Liverpool, or a Chelsea or an Arsenal. But I can't see them beating 2 of them. I think the maximum they get is 4. And remember, 2 of those games are away as well. And then Arsenal at Anfield. You could see them losing all 3. And look, Liverpool have in their, playing at their very best, could win all 3. They could win at the Emirates, they could win at Stamford Bridge, and they could win at Anfield against us.
Well, they're playing at Anfield, so they don't have to worry about playing at the Emirates. They already lost the Emirates early this year, but I know what you mean.
Arsenal. But I don't see it. I think they'll get a maximum of 4, which puts them on 46 points. If they're on 46 points in 3 games' time, and Man United are on 57, Newcastle on 52.
Well, let's be honest. I don't think Manchester United. I think Manchester United may be on 55 points. I think they're going to lose to Newcastle, but they'll probably win or draw their next couple of games. We'll see how it all pans out.
These and Spurs are on what, 53? I mean, you're talking massive gaps, and I wouldn't rule Liverpool out, but I think if these teams around Liverpool make hay over the next 3 games and Liverpool can't, I just think that their chances of getting top 4 are going to diminish, and maybe that at that point you're looking at it and you're going, it's very, very difficult. I mean, what they would need to do is basically win nearly every game of their last 9, which in this league is impossible. I mean, you probably are getting to the point where if United do take 7 from the next 3, and Chelsea and Newcastle take 5 or more, and Liverpool only take 4. It's looking very, very difficult, isn't it? But let's not dismiss Brighton, because what about them? Brighton have actually got those 2 games in hand as well on Spurs. That if they won, then be level with Spurs.
Yeah, they've got 2 games in hand. Brighton's a difficult team. Arsenal beat them 4-2 at away, and they're going to have Brighton again at home. Not an easy team to play, not an easy team to beat. Even they have been a. In fact, I think Manchester United still have to play at Brighton coming up as well.
So Brighton's next 3 games are as follows. They play Brentford at home, which I think they'll win. They play Bournemouth away, which I think they'll win. And then they play Spurs away, which I think they'll draw. So I give Brighton...
I could see Brighton winning all 3 of those games. I could see them be at 51 points. If they're at 51 points and still have games in hand.
Another 7 points, which would put them on 49. And they'd still have those games in hand on Spurs of 2. So I think Brighton, just come along for the ride and enjoy it. I think Brighton could just need to hang in there. I mean, look, the bubble could burst with Brighton at any point. Maybe Brighton, maybe they don't get a result at home to Brentford. Maybe they don't get
That's going to be a good game, Brighton versus Brentford. That should be an outstanding game, 7 versus 8. But don't again. I'm ruling out Brentford for the time being, but Brentford's a difficult team to play.
A result away at Bournemouth, and maybe Spurs beat them. But
Brentford beat Manchester United 4-0 early the second game of the season, granted, but they still beat them 4-0.
At the moment, you just can't write Brighton off. So look, I keep Brighton in the race. I keep Newcastle and Spurs in the race. I put Man United as favourites for third. But I think Liverpool, at this moment in time, if I had to dismiss one, and I think, look, people would say, well, why aren't Brentford in the race? I just don't think Brentford or Fulham are in the race, and I think it's too much.
Yeah, I agree the same. I said it earlier. I'm not putting Brentford and Fulham in the race.
For Chelsea. But I do think the top 4 race at the moment is between Manchester United, who are the favourites, Tottenham and Newcastle, who are second favourites, and then I'd probably put Brighton as third favourites, with Liverpool as fourth favourites. The only reason I would say Liverpool have got no chance is because I've always said they will get top 4, which is a personal thing, but it's Liverpool. If it wasn't the Liverpool that have won a Premier League with Jurgen Klopp and all these great players they've got, I'd say they aren't going to do it. And I think the problem Liverpool will have is that league table doesn't look good now. In 3 games time, when you've got to play Man City away, Chelsea away, and Arsenal, how many points are you going to have?
Look, if everything goes the way he says it's going to go, I can't see Liverpool being in this conversation. I can see Newcastle being in it. I can see Tottenham being in it. I can see Brighton being in it. I cannot see Liverpool. Unless Liverpool does something absolutely amazing, astounding. They win at Manchester City. They win at Chelsea. They defeat Arsenal, get 9 points, and then we can discuss about Liverpool. But right now, Liverpool is got a heck of a battle coming up in the next 3 games.
You're not going to, even if you got 4 points, you're still behind Newcastle in 5th if Newcastle lose all 3. And Newcastle are going to take points in the next 3. Tottenham are going to take points. Man United and Brighton. That's going to get worse for Liverpool in 3 games' time, unless they pull off something ridiculous like going to the Emirates and winning, the Etihad and winning, Stamford Bridge and winning, and then winning, if Liverpool take 9 points from the next 3 games, I think they'll get top 4, because they'll have beaten Man City, Chelsea, and
Well, it's one thing to beat those teams, but you still got those other games you got to play as well. There's still 8 other games that and you haven't. You still went to Bournemouth and lost 1-0 after beating Man. I mean, who knows what Liverpool's going to do?
And Arsenal. But get your comments in below. I want to know your top 4 as things stand. I will commit to mine. I'm going to go. I'm not going to change. I'm still playing the jinx on Man City. I'm still thinking Man City will win this league, hoping Arsenal win it. So I'll go Man City, Arsenal, Manchester United in 3rd, and 4th. I'm still going to put Liverpool there, because I said Liverpool would get top 4, so I'm not going to go against it at this moment, but I tell you what, it's looking very difficult. Thanks for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. That's football. Get involved. Lots coming up. Loads of content. Really excited about some projects we're working on. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Okay, that was interesting. Look, I believe Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City, and Manchester. I don't know how if Arsenal holds on. Great. I'm an Arsenal fan. I fully hope Arsenal ends up winning the title. If they don't, the worst they're going to finish is 2nd place, as I see it. But Manchester City, Arsenal, I think are right now guaranteed. I think Manchester United is almost there. Not quite there, but almost there. I think they're going to finish in 3rd place, regardless of what happens against Newcastle. If I go to 4th place, I don't see Liverpool doing it. I think it's either going to be Tottenham, Newcastle, or Brighton, one of those 3. If I were to pick on one right now, my outside hope would be Brighton. I think Brighton would be an outstanding 4th place team and make the Champions League. But my heart tells me it's going to be Newcastle. Okay, and my mother, God, who's still alive, but having troubled times with cancer right now. She's a Newcastle fan. For my mom, I'm going to take Newcastle in 4th. For Newcastle, play like my mother would. Play for heart. Give my mother top 4. All your love, all your power, everything you have. Give my mom top 4. That would be great. But that's my top 4. Arsenal or Manchester City 1, 2. Manchester United 3. Newcastle 4. Tell me what you think. That's just my 2 cents. Mark Goldbridge. Please click like, share, and subscribe for him, as well as click down here, like, share, and subscribe for me. I would appreciate you doing that for me. That would be greatly appreciated as I do more of these videos on football and other things in my interesting world. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day.